Welcome back. In this class, we're going to look at leadership. And we're going to focus on this as one of the functions of management, right? Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And we're going to start by looking at individual behavior, how individuals act and react. An important concept to understand and know is the concept of the psychological contract. These are expectations that a person has relative to what they're going to get for what they do. For example, you might think that if you're going to work hard over the weekend, that you'll get some time off, or maybe you get this project done, you'll get a bonus or a promotion. That's a psychological contract. There's nothing physical about it. But if it's an imbalance, as the notes say here, if you think you're going to get promoted or a raise or a bonus or time off and you don't, you may want to look for a change. The person may be unhappy. As with any contract, what you're looking for is balance. So let's take a look further at some of the individual things. Now, you'll recall I've talked throughout this class about the issues I've had when I started at Lucent. We were going through the forming and the storming, and for months we sat in the storming phase. And we did all kinds of organizational development things. We did role playing. We did walk in the woods. We had third parties come in. We did trust falls. We did all kinds of team building exercises. Well, one of the things we did eventually was a Myers-Briggs personality type. And we did this. A third party kind of administered it with us and went through went through 4 different dimensions. And you can kind of do this too. If you go to the class website, there's a link or go look online. You can do these for yourself. And briefly what we did was we've come up with whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, sensor or intuitor, thinker, feeler, or judger or perceiver. Judging isn't really a judging kind of thing. It's you like rules, you keep lists, right? You're very precise kind of stuff. Perceiving is your more go with the flow and go with the wind kind of stuff. So to kind of make this short, we had our facilitator come and he administered the test and had half of us sit on one side of the room and the other, and chairs lined up facing each other, and said, I want all the extroverts on one side and all the introverts on the other side. So we did that, and the facilitator said, oh, isn't that good? We have a mixture, and you need to have both types. You need to have diversity because they each bring something to the game. Okay, cool. Then he had us break up sensing versus intuitor, and we switched sides, all sensors on one side, all the intuitors on the other side. And again, he talked about importance of diversity and that kind of stuff. Then he said, okay, I want all the thinkers over here and all the judges over here. I'm sorry, thinkers over here and the feelers over here. So we did that, and we sat down, we went, holy smokes. All of New Jersey was thinking, and all of Massachusetts were feelers. We looked at each other and we couldn't believe what had happened. And this was kind of one of the breakthroughs that we had. It got us to see each other very differently. We in New Jersey, we wanted to get the job done. Right? We would come in, we'd stay late, we'd get the job done, we'd want to make sure the tasks got done, things were done right. Massachusetts was all about, do you feel good about this? Are you happy with this? They would do things like we would be working on Saturdays. We'd have mandatory Saturday working. We would come in, we'd get the job done. Here's the things we've got to get done. They would come in and they'd have their managers would cook breakfast or give them people shoulder rubs or something while they were working. Very different perspectives. Well, we actually had a lot of fun with that. Once we could realize that was what was going on, it really did help our communication a lot. Sometimes we would get together as managers and we would say, oh yeah, hey you Massachusetts guys, you're just being a bunch of effers, meaning feeling types, right? But anyway, it really was a very good tool. The college here administers this tool, and you can use it to think about possible careers. It doesn't say that because you're a particular type, you have to go into a particular career. But it might say, 30% of doctors are this personality type, or 20% of law enforcement people are this kind of type, or accountants and things like that. And it might give you ideas and things you hadn't thought about before in terms of a potential career. A couple other personality traits and terms that are good to know. Locus of control. This is the concept that you believe your behavior has an effect on what's going to happen. Doesn't mean you can accomplish it, but it means you're not just limited to what goes on by fate. You can do something to affect your situation. Self-efficacy, on the other hand, is the one that you really can make a difference. Am I able to do that job? Am I able to make a difference? It's a difference from the locus of control. Machiavellianism. That's a good term. Machiavelli was actually a priest in Italy. Wrote a book called The Prince. And he wrote in that book about how one gains power and keeps the power. That was very, let's say, ruthless. He wasn't a very nice person, and he talked about beheading people and things like that once somebody gained power. So when we talk about Machiavellianism, we really talk about people being sneaky, clever, playing games, conniving, that kind of thing. Self-esteem. That's the extent you believe that you're worthwhile, that you feel good about yourself. And I think before we've talked about risk propensity, your willingness to take risks. We'll continue with some more of these individuality traits in the next talk.